you could build with plastic.
All right, good evening. Thank you for joining us. It's 6:10. We're going to go and start off with E, reconvene to open session. F, announcement of actions taken in closed session. There's none to report at this time. G, presentations. We'll start off with one, our boys tennis IVL champions.
Boy, we're applauding before I even said anything. You guys are that awesome, guys. You guys look sharp up here. So, President Alvarado, board members, and ladies and gentlemen of the audience, staff, tonight it is with a lot of orgullo, right? A lot of pride that I present to you, to our Calexico community, our boys tennis team. We are very, very proud. They are the Imperial Valley League champions. They had a 10-0 winning record this year. And just as impressive, they had a 19-1 winning record over the past 2 years. And I want to the lifetime teacher in me comes out when I have the opportunity of addressing students and their parents and the community, and to say that what you guys accomplished is going to be part of your lives so much more than a trophy, or a plaque, or a ribbon, or a medal, or what have you. Those trophies that you might put up on in your house, or that plaque or that certificate that you may get, sooner or later, it's going to go in a garage, it's going to go in a box, it's going to get placed away somewhere. But the values that you guys learn as a team, right? The values that you guys there learn working hard every day, your dedication, your commitment, right, to your school, to your team, to your community, to one another, and to yourselves, right? The discipline that it took to go on a 10-0 winning streak, right? To go on a 19-1 winning streak says a lot about you guys. If you guys continue that dedication, if you guys continue that commitment, trust me, there is not a whole lot of things in this world that you guys will not be able to accomplish if you set your minds to it. It's not easy, and not anybody could do what you guys were able to do. So we're very proud of you guys. Thank you for being great role models for your peers, for our other Calexico High School students, and the students that are coming behind you, our elementary students, our junior high school students that are seeing you guys and saying like, wow, look at what they were able to get done. So thank you so much for your dedication, for your commitment, for your passion. Thank you for representing Calexico Unified School District for the incredible, wonderful, beautiful school district that it is. And you know, you guys really have big shoes to fill here, because, you know, the following, how many seniors do we have here? How many seniors? Okay, we've got, wow, about half the team are seniors. How many juniors do we have? Okay, 3 junior sophomores. 1 sophomore there. Any freshmen? No. Okay, we have 1 freshman. All right. So maybe our seniors could come back next year and, you know, practice with you guys and do all that sort of stuff. Right? Red shirt, yeah. And of course, along with those comments to our students are to our coaches as well. You know, I've always said coaches get paid pennies to the amount of time that they dedicate to their sport. Coaches are with their kids. If they're not with them physically 7 days a week, they're with them 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week, or at, you know, at the planning board, at the you know, how they're going to play, who they're going to play, what they're going to do. And so to our tennis coaches, thank you so much for your dedication and for your commitment to our students. People like you make a difference in our society. So thank you so much. So today, board members, I'd like to recognize our boys championship tennis team and coaches. and we're going to be calling you each one by one. You guys look sharp in those T-shirts, and we got you other T-shirts that has your name on them, and has your accomplishments by putting your league championship title on the T-shirt. Sounds good? When we call your name, please come up here, get your T-shirt, and please stand up here, because then we're going to take pictures with our school board, with your coaches, and have to jump in there myself too. So, okay, we're going to start with, if we could have our board members right up here in the front, with Mr. Dylan Acosta. Dylan is out today, okay? We'll still give him his shirt. Axel Arredondo. Okay, we'll give him a shirt. Carlos Barajas. Okay, that's okay. They're playing tennis right now. All right. They're playing with Serena Williams tennis right now, right? Jose Luis Camacho. Okay, that's okay. Here we go. The first one who is here gets a pizza tonight. Is that yes? No, you guys all get a pizza tonight. Okay, Derek de Santiago. Hey. Daniel Fernandez. Okay. Aaron Gamboa. Iker Gamboa. Axel Garcia. Galileo Gonzalez. Galileo, no? Ethan Ibarra. Gael Ibarra. Evan Ketchum. Sergio Leos. Christopher Moroyoki. Martin Nunez. Armando Plasencia. Andrés Rodríguez. Benjamín Rodríguez. Esteban Silva Castro. Marco Trejo. Diego Trejo. José Zavala. Okay, and our team managers, Alexa Castellum. No está? They're not here? Okay, they're not here, but I still want to announce them by their names to recognize them as well. Our team managers are Alexa Gastelum, Sofia Ponce, Kristen Noriega, and Guadalupe Campos. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay. And now for our coaches, Mr. Alejandro Cota. Salvador Perez. And Hector Cota. Did we get everybody? Yes. So, you guys come in. Yeah, if you guys are like, okay, here guys. Take a knee. If I could also ask Mr. Mano, our AD, and Mr. Mariano, who's also supports our athletics department, to come in this picture as well. And gentlemen and parents and coaches, you're more than welcome to stay, but you're also more than welcome to leave if you'd like.
Mr. Cota has something to say.
Oh, Mr. Cota, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Trying to take the shine away from you.
I promise I'll keep it short. Nothing like the Oscars. I just wanted to take this time to thank some people that I think don't often get enough credit. Rodriguez family, Leo's family, Gastelum family, Nunez family, Silva family, Trejo family. They do follow us wherever we go. Sometimes they go all the way to San Diego, they go to Brawley. When we got stuck in the bus, they offered to come and pick us up. I think that's a story that everybody heard, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in this room that lost a lot of sleep that night. But we're all here, we're all safe. I feel like, honestly, that was the perfect thing to happen to this team. We did win IVLs last year. We did go 9-1, but everybody always asks, what about next year? What about next year? We didn't even really get to enjoy the moment at the time just because everybody's so focused about next year. And sure behold, the first match we have, of course, we have 80-mile-per-hour winds, spending the night in a bus, 30 degrees outside. But I feel like everybody grew closer together, right? We did have a good mix. Yes, we do have a lot of seniors. 12 out of 20 are seniors. But we do have one freshman. We have a couple sophomores. We have a couple juniors. And I can honestly say, and these gentlemen can say it as well, they didn't really know each other. Yeah, the seniors hang out with each other, but everybody else just kind of felt like extras. And I feel like after that night, that was the unity that everybody needed to truly get to know each other. I also want to congratulate them on their grades. I feel like that's also another thing that kind of goes by unnoticed. Myself as a coach, that's the best thing I can ask for, is don't give me problems in the classroom. I don't want any teachers coming up, and Chris is one of my students, so yes, he does have a good grade. I don't even know what the process is like for academic probation, and I think that's a good thing on my part. Derek De Santiago is a Gates finalist, so I don't think he gets enough credit for that, to not only put in all the hours in tennis, but in the classroom and in all the other clubs and extracurriculars he is involved in. Other than that, right, I do want to thank the board. I do want to thank, again, school, Ms. Williams, Mr. Velez, Mr. Gonzalez. I know that I can call at midnight, and again, I have proven that because I have called them at midnight and they answer on the first ring. And again, just the endless support that everybody has given us. Again, regardless of where we play, who we play, and for those of you that do know, yes, our schedule was a complete mess this year. Weather was not kind to us. Just issue after issue after issue, but these gentlemen handled it like warriors. So I am honored to say that they are back-to-back undefeated champions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cota. We greatly appreciate your words and everything that you do here for our school district as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at this point, as I said, we do have dinner for you guys, for the coaches and the students. So please, Ms. Janet Burgos will guide you in that direction.
Hey guys, go ahead, guys. Chow down.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mano. Oh, really? Really? You miss it. I know you miss it. Yeah. Yes.
All right, we're going to move on. Congratulations to the boys tennis team. We're going to move on to 2, dual enrollment.
Thank you. President Alvarado. At this point, I would like to introduce, and I know that some of you already know him, Mr. Victor Torres from Imperial Valley College. And he's here tonight as our honored invited guest to talk about the dual language program with Calexico High School. We also have here our principal, Ms. Gabby Williams, who is also here to provide her own personal observations and her own personal experience. I know she's a humongous fan and supporter of the dual language program, and in our conversations really wants to blow it up and actually transport kids during the day back and forth. And she's telling me all these crazy ideas, which I love. But I met Mr. Torres a few weeks ago at ICOE. We were at a superintendent's meeting there, and he's I think an incredible resource for Calexico Unified School District, and thank you so much for being here with us tonight, sir.
Thank
and
you.
welcome to Calexico, to your home here, and please take it away.
Thank you. I appreciate the time, members of the board, Superintendent Jimenez, and all the guests. You know, when the speaker sometimes speaks before you and you pick up on some of the things that they said, he mentioned, I'm not going to be like the Oscars. I'm going to make an Oscars comment. I don't know if you're aware, but Imperial Valley College was recently selected as the Aspen #1 college in the nation. I don't know if you understand what that means, but President Obama called it the Oscars for community college. So, yeah, I'm very proud of that. Thank you.
Mr. Torres, that day when it was announced, we had a board meeting, and we announced it.
Awesome.
So if you go back to our channel, you will hear a shout out to Imperial Valley College for that incredible accomplishment.
That's great. Thank you so much. How many people here went to IVC? If you can raise your hand. So, quite a bit of you guys. So, now you can say that you attended the #1 college in the nation proudly, right? We've gone a long ways. You know, I started with IVC about 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago. I think we made some progress. Today, I'm going to share some data with you in terms of dual enrollment, and then really some projections of the future. I'll start with, is this the clicker that I could use? Thank you. Just for those of you who don't know what dual enrollment is, so dual enrollment is basically a program that allows high school students to take classes while enrolled at the high school, but take college classes. We're the provider. This also establishes a potential pathways for the students, exploration for the students, but really to create a college-going culture within your programs as well. There was a couple of laws that came out, specifically in 2017, which AB 288, which allowed us to enter what we call a CCAP agreement, which tonight I hope that you vote in favor of that agreement. It's a 3-year agreement. And we have a plan for Calexico High School and your schools within the district. But that allows us to really infiltrate your school with college courses. We've always offered the opportunity for college courses through the concurrent enrollment program, but this allowed us to really invest in the college program. So it allowed the high school and the college to come into an agreement and determine which courses would be offered and close just to your high school students. So in reality, they're cohorts of students. And then recently, SB 554 allows us to offer dual enrollment classes to your adult learners, so your adult ed program. I'm working with Mr. Moreno to try to pilot something there. And then AB 102 allows us to expand that and work with county offices of ed, community schools, continuations, and juvenile court. I will tell you that in the next probably year or two, there is a new incoming chancellor to the California Community College System. Her name is Sonia Christian, Dr. Sonia Christian, out of Kern County, and she is a big fan of dual enrollment. In fact, we just went on a field trip, and I'm going to take Mrs. Williams and some other folks to Kern County, specifically McFarland High School, because we were really impressed with some of the things that they're doing in regards to dual enrollment. So she's going to push the agenda, and we hope that it comes with some additional funding as well, because we desperately need it. But it'll be both ways. It'll be for the K-12 through the CDE state, and then for us through the chancellor's office. So we're hoping to really collaborate and expand. When we talk about dual enrollment, it's really about removing barriers and enhancing equity for students. In a nutshell, it saves time and money, right? It'll save families time and money, but it'll provide access. It'll provide the access that our students need. I will tell you, If you go to McFarland or some other counties, we're way behind. We're a lot behind. Some of the programs that they're implementing there, their students are graduating with an associate's out of high school. And they do it within the confinements of the law. It's important to say because I know that there are interest groups or stakeholders that want to know how this is done. And always the question is, well, we don't want our teachers to lose any spots, and we don't want our instructors at the college to lose any spots. The law is very clear. You can't do that. You can't displace an instructor on any side of the aisle. But they've been able to figure it out. And I challenge you as a board and also as a district to let's try and figure that out because our students deserve it. If you compare a student from Kern County that graduated with an associate's and they both apply to UCLA, who's going to get accepted? That student. More than likely that student. I call it competitively eligible, and we need to have our students be competitively eligible with other areas of the state. So that's my challenge. That's the call to action. I hope that you guys can work with Imperial Valley College because we want to expand and enhance the program. I'm not going to spend too much time, but look at this potential savings. If you look at this box here, if you go to a CSU or a UC, you're talking about potentially saving $20 to $25,000 just in tuition costs because of the amount of units that you can take before you graduate out of high school. That's a huge savings for our family. And you know, even if you go to IVC, you're still going to save close to $10,000 because you already accumulated a number of units. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is our like A through Z implementation, right? The first thing is to show you the program, set up a CCAP agreement, and then we start the onboarding process. We start recruiting instructors, students, starting our schedule, and we start working kind of backwards, right? We begin with the end in mind. So we're already doing that. Our recruitment efforts have already started for summer. We're looking to have a strong summer as well. I'm hoping that we can twist your arm and offer a couple more classes. I'm saying that in public, but because I think your students really want them. So this is just the application side. On the student side, it always requires the student signature and approval, a parent signature and approval, and then an administrator or designee approval. So that the high school has to ensure that that student is capable of taking the classes and can challenge them. Now let me be clear about the intent of the law. AB 288 says you have to try and offer these classes to students that are non-traditional college students. That should be your number one effort. We are very inclusive. We allow every student to join in the classes, but we do want to be intentional about creating that college-going culture and allowing your students that would normally not land in our doorsteps to try to get them into the doorsteps, right? And research is very clear. You're going to be very impressed with our research as well. The research says that if you take a college class while in high school, you're 60 to 65% more likely to attend college. And that's pretty high already. Our state average is about 55, 60%. So that elevates a little bit, right? But you're going to be impressed with our data as soon as I show it to you. This is just all the schools that we're actively participating, and we hope to, again, enhance services, especially with adult ed. This is just a slide on numbers. So we started in 2017. I was very fortunate. I worked a number of years in the K-12 side at Imperial Unified as a principal, director, student services counselor. And we were, I was basically Mrs. Williams on the K-12 side trying to work with IVC to start classes for dual enrollment. And we were one of the first schools that did that as well. And then eventually, Calexico High School joined the ranks, and I'm happy to say that they're a strong program. But you can see the numbers from 320 enrollments to almost 1,500 enrollments per year. We make up 9% of the total student population at IVC. That's pretty impressive, I think. But I'm a little jealous of Bakersfield. There is 30%. So, and I'll show you some numbers because the potential here for the county is we have almost 12,000 students to be able to take college credit. And the vision for the California Community Colleges is to have every student graduate with at least 9 units under their belt. Our president topped that. You know, Aspen winner, we have to have a little bit better vision. He wants 15 units. And so that's our task. That's our call to action, to try to get students with 15 units under their belt. This is just a way of showing you sort of our course selection by high school. If you notice, Calexico High School has, almost at the top, 123 students, and those are the courses that they're taking there on the middle box. That was fall. This is spring. 171 students. They're the most students that we have in our program right now. So round of applause for you guys. Thank you. Come on, guys. Thank you. I love this slide. This slide shows a 3-year overall success rate by subject. If you notice, the top is 100% success, and then it goes down. There's some anomalies there, like computer science and humanities. Very, very tough classes, and we offered them at certain periods of the year, and students just were not successful. But if you look above that, 83 and above success rates. This box here is the IVC average. So that's for just students, general students at IVC. So if you notice, your high school students are doing better than the average, right? And you can see that by year as well. 86 has been the lowest, 96 percentile has been the highest. There's only one subgroup that does better than high school students. Does anybody take a guess?
Seniors.
No. Prisoners. Yeah, our prison program, those students do better in terms of GPA and success ratios. Obviously, they have a lot of times in their hand. So kudos to our kids, because not only do they have to challenge high school classes, they also have to do extracurricular activities, whatever sports, and then on top of that, they're taking college classes. So they're doing phenomenal. It says a lot about the grit of our students. This is another one of my favorite slides there, and I would ask you to pay attention to the bottom. And the bottom, because what we did is we took seniors, and we looked at seniors, how many seniors were in that particular term, and we looked at them, how many actually enrolled at IVC. That's the third column there in the middle from left to right. So if you notice, in the spring, there was 137 students. About 94 of them actually went on to IVC, 68%. That's not an anomaly. That's pretty standard. But if you look at the number of units that they earned, average was 7.1, and then the maximum is 30 units. There is a student, and I believe from Calexico High School, I think he's on pace to earn 36, if I'm correct, 36 units by the time he graduates. That's dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment, right? So, but nonetheless, 36 units is a big deal. This is another one of my favorites. We basically took that slide there for the spring and looked at the seniors, and then we looked at the college going rate. And I mentioned this earlier. Statewide is about 60%, 55 to 60, it varies. But look at our numbers, up to 94%, 95% of college going rates. And that's 2-year programs or 4-year programs. I mentioned this earlier too, is that we're looking at, I call them sometimes the high flyers. People don't like that term, but really high flyers are just folks that I think, students that they're going to go to a UC, CSU, private, no matter what. No matter what you throw at them, they're going to go. And their students they're also taking advantage of our dual enrollment program. So we've been doing really well in terms of college going rate. By the way, this is the topic of my dissertation. I'm doing my doctorate at San Diego State, and this is my topic, dual enrollment. So I wanted to give you yours specifically. We haven't had a lot of seniors take the program in the last 2 years. 29 seniors, 24 of them enrolled at IVC. That's about 83%. The average units was 4.3. We're a newer program, right? So they haven't had. And then the maximum, not counting this year, because this year will be up to 33, right? It was 9. But look at the percentage of college going rates, 96% versus, and then 2-year versus 4-year. So phenomenal data there. This is just another way of showing the course selection. So one of the things, and I don't like saying this, but I say it anyways, the silver lining of COVID, right? We had to go online. We had to go online asynchronous. We started having an open enrollment model for students. If you notice, when you first started the program, we started with 1 class, then 2, and in the summer 1. But then we went, during COVID, we opened up the floodgates, and students just started enrolling, and they're doing well in the classes. One of the things that we did notice is a drop rate, and you won't see that, but the drop rate for online classes is normally higher than face-to-face classes, and that's across the board in every sector of higher ed. But you can see the number of classes has grown significantly because of that open access. We did run into a hiccup by the chancellor's office. There was some distance ed code Title V that we needed to adhere. We've gotten over that hurdle. We're going to figure it out with Mrs. Williams' help to do a cohort model so that we could have online asynchronous courses also offered. Not shying away from face-to-face classes, because students also like that option as well. There are some challenges, and I think obviously limited staffing, I know on our end, but I think on your end, there's a potential funding source that I think will address this in the coming future. We need counseling, and not only from the high school side, but from the college side, because what we're having is students are sort of self-guiding themselves, and then they're taking units where they may not need them, right, specifically to their major or their pathway. And we need to be very intentional about that. We want more parent engagement. We want them to be involved in that process. So that's one of the things. I put on there faculty availability. I encourage you as a district to do a search. We want your instructors to be able to teach dual enrollment. There are some specific guidelines for that. It's called the California Community College Minimum Qualification Guidelines. Brief example, if you want to teach biology, it's different than K-12. You have to actually have a master's in biology. So you have to have a master's in that course or content area. But if you could do, I know Imperial's done this, Brawley's done this, a survey to your staff, to your faculty, that would be great to figure out how we can bring them to the dual enrollment program.
Mr. Charles, if I could interject here really quick, we could also create like a joint flyer that we, for all of our Calexico Unified School District teachers, where we say, are you interested in teaching in the dual enrollment program with IVC? These are the requirements, and if you're interested, we could do some type of a joint flyer.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I have a sample survey. I'll forward that for you guys as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
But I look at the opportunities, rather than the challenges. I think there are tons of opportunities. Again, I mentioned the number of students at the high school level in the county is close to 12,000. There's potential for adult ed learners as well. They get free classes. I don't think they know that. We want to make sure they do and understand that. Pathways, we want to get them into a pathways. We're in talk with San Diego State locally, other CSUs and UCs to establish, it used to be kind of an IVUP model, but now it's 1 year of community college while in the high school, another year with us at IVC, and then a transfer with guaranteed admissions to a particular campus, specifically in that pathway. And then obviously you guys have heard the news about career education and lithium programs. We started 3 lithium programs that are very easily attainable with high school courses. That's Excel, Word. We have a mathematics for technical careers, and then an OSHA card, which is an OSHA 10 card. And those classes, like Hopeville's already planning this, they can be done at the high school before they graduate. And then they would take 3 foundation classes for each specific program and be able to work at the lithium plants. And that's about a $35 to $38 salary starting per hour. So good jobs also. I wanted to give a shout out to our faculty because they do a great job of working with your kids. And so these are all the faculty members we've had since 2017 that have worked in the dual enrollment program. And then this is the funding opportunities. Now, we've missed the deadline for this year, but I just got some news via email. Not a lot of folks applied. The turnaround was very short, and so they're going to open up the potential for funding. I'm going to tap into your folks to see if you guys want to go in a combined application so we can garner some of this funding. So this is our dual enrollment team. They're VIPs in my book. They do a great job. And any questions at this point?
Board members, any questions? Yeah, I have a question for Mr. Torres. When are you going to send the buses to pick up our students?
We could talk about that. I'll answer that very, very honestly. So when you form a CCAP agreement, there's a couple ways to do this, right? Who collects the ADA, right? So, or you guys call it ADA, we call it FTEs. As long as the numbers can match, sky's the limit, right? It's when sometimes we have to offset costs. So like, you can have a class and it doesn't fill. It's a quota of 45 and you only have 20 students. You're losing over 50% of the revenue. we want to make sure that we capture the students first and then be able to pay the bill and then be able to offset some of these costs. But it's all, it can be done. It has been done. So we just need to sit down and get it done.
What's being done in McFarland, correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, it's one of those things that we have to go ahead and copy and paste it kind of type of thing.
And that is really, I mean, I don't think we should reinvent any model that's already done. It's really about going over there. I will be very transparent. It requires work. The heavy lifting is from the district, the high school district. It requires also an agreement from both unions, on our side and your side, because it has to be beneficial for both of the unions. And the biggest thing here is that you can't displace anybody from both sides of the aisle. So you have to be very cognizant about going into that.
I want to thank you because my kid has taken advantage of that. It ruined some of my afternoons because he has to go back and do some assignments, but he's really taking care of it. And next year he'll be a senior, and he'll have some units
Awesome.
to add
Thank
to
you.
his resume.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, Mr. Torres, I just want to say thank you for coming. I think it was a couple years. The last time it was at Cesar
Yeah.
Chavez when you spoke and stuff like that. But, I mean, it has jumped from what it was back then to where we're at now. I mean, you could see that, and I just hope that we keep on growing, and for us to go out there and see what this other district's doing out there in McFarland, and see what it is that we could bring back and try to implement that here, because it's not going to benefit. It's going to benefit our future, and that's what we're all here about, right? It's our
Yep.
future and stuff like that. So, I'm just hoping that we learn something good from there and bring it back and implement that here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And if I could say, President Alvarado, so I know that when Mr. Torres and I spoke for a brief period of time at ICOE, we were talking. I'm familiar with dual enrollment programs. I'm very familiar with a concept called middle college high schools, which is a very, very similar concept. But I do want to say, not just to make them feel good right here in front of you, but I think that we have the right driver on the bus with Mr. Torres as a partner with our school district and IVC. He's passionate about what he's doing, and he also wants to grow these opportunities for our students. And so, Mr. Torres, you got a partner in us, and
Thank you.
anything and everything that we could do to support the dual language program with your college. I'm a product of the community college system. Right after high school, I also went to community college. More than 2 years it took me. I'm not going to say how many, but I got there.
Same.
I got there. I transferred, and I moved on, and it's possible. So I would like to ask President Alvarado if I could ask our principal, Ms. Gabby Williams, if she just a few words on her experience with the dual enrollment program and working with Mr. Torres.
Thank you. And if I can just say one comment, I used to work for, I did some work for the University Office of the President, UCOP, the UC system, specifically with Mesa. And Calexico is a gold mine. Calexico is a gold mine for underrepresented students, low socioeconomic students moving on to higher ed. Folks, we were always excited to work with Calexico because of that. Folks do it to fill quotas, but we wanted to help your students, and I think we've been doing that for a long time, not only through the MESA program, but now through dual enrollment. So we're very, very happy of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Gabby Williams, principal at Calexico High School. The beauty of being a principal is to hear those one-on-one stories that, for students that are impacted by our programs. And briefly, I'll share that the dual enrollment has grown from, we were struggling that first semester, last minute, we jumped on the dual enrollment wagon. It's like, can we get even 5 kids, 10 kids? And we had our doubts. That was around the pandemic. And so it's difficult. After that, moving on, our counseling team, our administrative team, our English 12 teachers have supported with dual enrollment with helping us promote it, communicated its deadline time, its application time. IVC has sent those flyers. So it is a team effort at Calexico High School. Today and all week, I have a young man. His name is Asher Medina. I've shared the news that he's accepted to Caltech, amongst other universities that he was, but he decided to go to Caltech, and shout out to him. He is our 36 unit student from IVC. I've talked to him. He's been in my principals committee for 3 years, and so I've had a close working relationship and have learned from his journey. And I was just sharing with Mr. Torres right now. I talked to Asher again today, and the things that we can improve and the things that worked out for him and what could have, should have. But it's so exciting also to see that first generation, Mr. Torres, and Asher is one of those. When we started 3-4 years ago, now we have seniors that is going to be the first cohort that are going to graduate. He's at 30 something, but we have some other ones right below him at 20 something, at 30 units as well. And I'm also very excited, and I was sharing with Mr. Torres right now that we have 2 freshmen that are our first freshmen this year to sign up and take advantage of the dual enrollment program. And I was excited when we met with IVC earlier. I think it was this year, right, that the opportunity for 9th graders came about. Everyone questioned it at a school, what, how? Ninth graders? Absolutely. We do have the population. And with the right communication and, again, guidance from our counselors, we have 2 students that, 4 years from now could be that associate's degree. I'll wrap up with 2 really brief just ahas that I've had amongst many. When we started dual enrollment, my goal as a principal, I'm always very excited. I'm still very excited about this program. And I mentioned, we're going to get that kid, right? We're going to help that kid get that associate's degree. During this journey, I've learned the impact, the effectiveness, how much more powerful it is to make sure that every single student at Calexico High School takes, at a minimum, 1 dual enrollment course. That poster child, as Mr. Torres says, we just discussed, that overachiever, some of us have them at home, they're going to get there. They're going to get there. But that student who may not get there, who may not have the means to pay for an IVC class, we have students at Calexico High School, as you know, that what is financial aid? I don't want to apply it. I don't have immigration status, and all these other challenges that I may just go back. But giving them that dual enrollment course at Calexico High School is going to be a life changer for them. And so that is my mission. That is my purpose, along with the support of IVC, is we're going to get that student with an associate's degree, but we're going to get 2,700 kids who, at one point or another, in one semester, in one grade level or another, they're going to graduate Calexico High School and say, I took a college class during my Calexico High School journey. And I've had that aha. And the last brief aha is recently I visited a community school, did a WASC visit for community school students who were missing tons of credits, lots of challenges. I asked in my WASC role as a chair, I asked every single student, where do you see yourself going? What are your goals? One of them said, I'm going to college. I'm already a college student. And you're talking about a student who is in a community setting, 50, 60 credits behind, but he's taking a dual enrollment class in this particular school. It was in a CTE pathway, which I'm ready to jump on board and offer dual enrollment courses in the CTE pathways. But again, transforming lives, even in the community setting, an alternative high school, this can also take place where students are behind credits, but they can also say, I am a college student. I'm taking a college class. And I saw that, and it's really powerful to see that, but imagine how much more powerful for that student. So I just want to thank the board for the support these past years in helping Calexico High School and giving us the opportunity to partner and collaborate with IBC. And Mr. Torres, like you said, Mr. Jimenez, he's the right one on the bus. He's always texting Gabby this, Gabby that, don't give me the class. And so he's right behind us, guiding us and providing that support. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gabby.
Thank you.
And board members, just really quick also, last but not least, because there's a critical person who is working behind the scenes to support all of our programs, whether they're CTE, they're dual language programs, these 2 agreements that you're going to be approving here tonight with IVC, and that's Ms. Elisa Ramirez, who works directly with IVC, works directly with Mr. Torres, works directly with their principals, to be able to have the course offerings, have the classes available. And so I do also want to thank Elisa, there are people that sometimes work behind the scenes that are not, you know, in the front center of the spotlight. But Elisa, thank you also for all your work in making and supporting all this work possible. So thank you very much. Thank you, President Alvarado.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Move on to number 3, safety update.
Thank you, President Alvarado and board members. I'd like to ask our coordinator, safety coordinator slash several other positions to provide the board what I want to do here being May and a few weeks away from the last day of the 22-23 school year, to provide like an annual report on our safety status here with Calexico, all the work that's been done throughout the year, what's being currently worked on, what are things that we're looking at, you know, moving into the future. So I've asked Alex, and the board had asked in the past for an update on our safety, and I'd like to ask Ms. Limon to provide us a presentation on that tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Jimenez. Good evening, board members, Mr. Jimenez, and the community. My name is Alejandra Limon, and I am the Safety and Title IX Coordinator. Tonight, I am ecstatic to present the work that I have done in collaboration with certificated, classified staff, with our administrators, our parents, and our community members, and also students. So I'm going to start with the purpose. The Safety Committee is dedicated to building a culture of safety through training, education, and policy development. We strive to minimize accidents through risk analysis and mitigation. The Safety Committee is established to bring administrators, staff, students, parents, and first responder perspectives to the process and provide them the opportunity to further develop each site with their ideas and concerns. So this is the purpose that we always look at whenever we make any decisions regarding safety. And this is our team, myself, of course, and Mrs. Brenda Hernandez. She is our secretary. So the safety department is composed of looking at areas regarding equipment, facilities, security, health personnel, and our 2 safety committees. We have our district safety committee, which is composed of staff and administrators and board members. And then we have the district parent safety committee. And then I don't necessarily supervise, but I provide training for these individuals. So we have campus security, we have over 50. We have student supervision assistants, we have over 90. We have crossing guards, we have over 35. And hopefully soon we will have our school resource officer. And so now what I'm doing is I am working through the building blocks approach and to exercise scheduling and planning. And I show you this because this is a FEMA chart that we're working with in regards to where we are with all of our exercises, in regards to any functional exercises and full-scale exercises, because eventually the goal will be to have a full-scale exercise in conjunction with our law enforcement partners, with ICOE, and with our administrators and our students and our staff. And so right now, what I'd like to show you is where we're at currently. We are at seminars, workshops, and we're almost moving up to tabletop exercises. We are doing drills, so all of our sites are conducting drills. But when we're coming to planning a full-scale exercise, we're not quite there yet. This year we focused on seminars, workshops, trainings, and again, we're right now at the tabletop area. And this just kind of goes over what FEMA proposes we should follow in regards to getting to a full-scale event. And this would be, again, having the fire department there with us, law enforcement, the Office of OES, Border Patrol, and so forth, working with us in collaboration. We use this book right here, and I put a picture of that, as the educator guide for the comprehensive school safety plans. That is one of the main documents that we all work on. Every site has to have a comprehensive safety plan, which the board just adopted and approved March 24th at the last board meeting. So all of us are in compliance. We have 11 plans on hand, and if any of you would like to see them in paper, I have them at my office, and each site has them also. Again, They need to be developed and approved by the school site councils by March 1st. And then again, by March 24th, we had our board meeting where you all approved it. All of our administrators and the district safety committees have received training on the components of the safety plans. We had 4 meetings with the Calexico Police Department to collaborate regarding this, and then we have developed a confidential tactical response plan. So I worked closely with the chief of police, with the fire department, and also key staff members in order to develop this. This plan will be coming over to the board soon. There's just a couple of areas that we're still just kind of working on. Canine visits. I know this was very important to all of us. This year we had 22 canine visits by InterQuest Detection, not the program, but the company. And so they go to the high school, and I can show you there. They've gone to the high school and they've gone to the junior highs. And so this report gives you what their findings were, where they went. The majority of the times they go to the classes, but they've gone to restrooms as well. If you notice the very last column there, column and row where it says March 30th, there were no findings this time, which is good. That's not to say that they're not there, but this time we didn't have any findings at the high school. And then we have the new district parent safety committee. Those parents were elected by their peers, by their parents at each site. This was in September, and they were very excited to join us. We are the only district with a district safety parent committee. This is a picture of 4 of them. We focus on talking about drug trends, abduction, human trafficking, Great Shakeout, anonymous reporting, the drug campaign, student safety concerns, discipline, comprehensive safety plans. They help with that as well. And the standard response protocol and traffic mitigation. So those have been topics that they have brought up, not me. They have brought them up. We meet on a monthly basis, and this is the full roster of our parents. Then we have the district safety committee, and we also look at several topics. The comprehensive school site safety plan is the biggest one that we work on. So that's constant at every meeting. And then we look at the site safety concerns. We look at reunification, safety presentations, and training. And I lead and facilitate both committees. This is part of the committee. This is the full roster of our committee, and we will have Mr. Alvarado joining us soon at the next meeting as well. As you can see, this is when they were working. We were doing a needs assessment, and we were also working on the comprehensive plans here as well. This is part of their needs assessment. They were collaborating and coming up with ideas as what they're seeing on campus and what we need to change or work on. School resource officer. I worked to develop an MOU with Mr. Jimenez and with the police chief. We wrote up the MOU. It was passed by you. It was passed by the city. And then we had interviews. So we got as far as interviews, and right now we're still at the very end process with the city. So we're hoping to hear back as soon as possible in regards to where we're at with the school resource officer. But we have done our part. The city, again, we're just waiting on their timelines. Fentanyl, vape, and drug presentations. We trained and we presented through the Imperial County Behavioral Health. Presentations were provided for 5th and 12th grade students and the Parent Safety Committee. And right now we're having a second round with the Imperial County Department of Public Health. So they have presented to parents, and they're also going site by site by appointment. So this is our second round now that we're giving presentations. Noxalone. I commissioned, I worked with the DOJ and also with the Department of Education, California Department of Education, to order more Narcan. We have 36 vials or whatever, boxes that we received. All of our bus drivers have been trained, and all of our buses have Narcan on them. All of our health techs have been trained, and they also have additional Narcan boxes on campus. Right now we're going to focus on training our proctors, key volunteers, and by key volunteers, that's staff, okay? And then also administrators. So that's our second part with Narcan. I'm also in charge of Williams facility visits. There were 5 school sites that were required to have a Williams facility. Where it says week of August 22, those were unscheduled visits. Those were surprise visits. And the other 3 were on target. There were some new areas that they focused on: new square footage, new enrollment numbers, number of restrooms requirement, the overall cleanliness, the restroom product requirement, and I'll go into that a little bit later. The district's plan to address deficiencies, the deficiencies noted, and then the district's response to our report. And so I work closely with Mr. Ocampo, I work closely with the principals, and then we actually do a Williams facilities report with all of our sites. So we do an informal one with all of our sites, and then a formal one with the 5 sites that have been designated here. And this is how we came out overall. You know, there were some sites that had some deficiencies. All of those deficiencies have been addressed. The majority of the deficiencies had to do with the ceiling tiles. And the only ones that we haven't addressed yet, but we're working on it, are the concrete cracks and issues with concrete, with walkways. Okay, so those are still pending, but the majority of the deficiencies have been taken care of. We have a new system that we're using, Facilities Advisor, and we're going to do walkthroughs starting at the end of May. So we'll be going and doing new walkthroughs before we go through a new Williams visit. Radios. We purchased 144 new radios this year. Okay, so we have been purchasing, and every year we will continue to purchase more radios. And then we currently partner with Catapult for our emergency management system. We have a parent emergency communication system, WeTip, Navigate 360, which is an ALICE program, that's a response program, and the Raptor visitor management system. And this just shows you the same programs where we use Raptor for visitors. Catapult is our emergency management. That's what we use for our drills. That's what we use for any type of anonymous reporting. We have the ALICE that we're working with, the Sandy Hook Promise, and the Safe Promise Club. We have 55 members there, and with ALICE, we actually have 20 certified ALICE trainers, though we will need to recertify everyone again because they changed their protocol somewhat. So there's new training. And then we also, again, we have the K9 detection service with InterQuest. We still have WeTip. This is our anonymous reporting. We actually have more reports this year, which is good because the students are now learning and the parents are now learning that we pay attention to those tips and we actually respond quickly to them. And if we don't, we get a 24-hour notice. So within 24 hours, we respond to these tips. So how are our drills going? I wanted to show you our drill report for last year. Last year, we had 18 drills. This is district-wide. And we focused on emergency, fire, natural disaster, other, and suspicious activity. So we had 18. That's the blue column. This year, we have 63 drills. So we've increased the amount of drills. We've increased the type of drills that we're having. I put other here because sometimes you're like, what is other? Other are skills. So they're skill drills to just work with the staff without actually evacuating the students. Because this year we wanted to focus on having all of our staff work through Catapult, understand Catapult, and report through Catapult. And so to have 63 drills, we've come a long way. I'm very proud of our staff. I'm the one who manages the Catapult behind the scenes. And I work through it. I train I train I've trained the parents and I've trained the staff on Catapult as well. So I'm really proud of them that we've come this way. That's a big jump from 18 to 63. Today was our first meeting. It was a tabletop meeting. We're moving towards a functional exercise. So again, today we started our meeting with Willie Moreno, Aurora, and Blanche Charles. We had the police department there. We had the police chief and Sergeant Legaspi. And we also had ICOE, the director of safety, Mr. Alvaro Ramirez. He was there as well. Our next meeting will be May 24th. So during this meeting, we talked about ways that we're going to communicate where our incident command center will be in case anything happens, let's say with an intruder or so forth. And then we also talked about other ways that we will need to communicate with the police department because we have to see if Catapult is actually connected. It is, but now we have to see if it's working. And then we have to see if our radios can also communicate with each other. So there's a lot to do here, but we are moving forward. And that's what I wanted to focus on, that we are moving forward. We have a CUSD safety newsletter. We've had 2, and we're working on the end of the year newsletter to send out as well. This one goes out to all of our parents. So we've had 2 newsletters. that I've worked on and sent out just information on any things, any suspicious activity, things that parents need to be aware of, and what we're doing as well, and inviting our parents to be part of our team. And then we have applied for a grant. This is through the COPS program. And I'm working with Mrs. Huerta Price and Mr. Ocampo. It's very exciting. I hope we get it. It's a $500,000 grant, but it is a competitive grant. And so what we have asked for is a hybrid intercom system for the high school, a district-wide connect, so we integrate all of our systems instead of working piece in piece, because I have to scan through and work with 5 different programs, and it's not easy. So we're trying to see how we can bring it all under one umbrella. And then perimeter fencing. We have seen a need of perimeter fencing, especially at CHS 9. There's a whole open area. So we're working to get perimeter fencing there and at other identified sites. We'd like to install gates, buzzers, and cameras at the very front entrance of each school site. So we're hoping to get that as well. We're looking at a Raptor system upgrade and then more radios. So that's hopefully if the grant goes through, that's what we're going to focus on. And this is a grant that we can apply to. I believe it's every 3 years. Yes. And so there's different other categories there. We cannot apply for any type of SRO grant through this. This is a different grant that the police department would have to apply. But it's something that I am speaking or working with the police chief to see if maybe they want to apply for this next year for the SRO grant. Again, I just wanted to show you Raptor. Raptor is a different system than Catapult, but they kind of do the same thing. It's an emergency management system that we're also exploring. And then training. What I wanted to show you is all the training that I have been to, but not just by myself, because I've also sent several teams out to all of the different trainings that we've had in collaboration with the Imperial County Office of Education, OES, FEMA. It's just the standard response protocol with the I Love You Guys Foundation. And then I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Dennis Price. He has been training all of our staff on the CPI. CPI is a different way of de-escalating. So he has been instrumental with our staff as well. And so I am partnering with him and making sure that our staff is going to CPI, and he's doing an awesome job. Thank you, Mr. Price. And then we've had collaboration meetings. So I've set up collaboration meetings with the Calexico Police Department. I've been there. I've worked with them. The Ivy Safe School meetings. I'm also in charge of COVID, so I'm attending any kind of COVID information meetings that the Public Health Department has. Campus safety, security meetings. And then I have Title IX student meetings. That's also part of my position. And then I'm also part of the Imperial Valley LGBTQ Resource Center collaboration meetings when I'm working with them. Again, these are the type of topics that we talk through at ICOE. Emergency management systems, we looked at several of them. The Incident Command Center, they provided safety training. They listened to what we need, and so they've provided several different trainings this year that we've sent staff to and administrators to. Again, this is the standard response protocol. They had several trainings this year, and I want to say that all of our site administrators have been trained on this. Okay. I just wanted to show you pictures. They just went to a reunification training and exercise, and this was last month. Again, we're working with them. We noticed that we are in need of materials, so we'll be working on getting all the materials necessary to make sure that all of our sites are equipped to have a reunification box. We have materials, but now once we went through this training, we're like, oh, okay, we have some more work to do there. So it was very insightful. It was really good about, they had us work through an actual reunification 4 times. So we had 4 different exercises. We've also trained our counselors and our administrators on intervention. The intervention program through Navigate 360 is called Suite 360. This helps with behavior. Our campus security just finished a training. It was an online training. It was a 24-hour online training. So they have complied with the law now. It was something that was new, so I set this up with them, and they were able to complete. So all of our proctors have completed this training.
And that's through a California Senate Bill
It is
360.
390, SB 390. So that was something that we had to comply with, and now all of our proctors have complied with SB 390 and have certificates of completion. And then I set up a training for our crossing guards. This was at the beginning of the year. I may have to train them again at the end of the year. So we're working with our crossing guards. Our police department did an excellent job with them, but I think I need to just work a little bit more with them. So that's coming. And this is just a list of all the crossing guards that we have. I'm also in charge of Title IX. This is a new flow chart. This is, I developed the flow chart. It's a little tough to see it now because I'd have to go piece by piece, but I wanted you to see some of the work that we've done with Title IX. This will be changing again in July. So a lot of the law will be changing in July, and we'll have to update this again. This is just the staff flow chart. There's a student flow chart, and there's a student and staff flow chart. So there's actually 3 charts that I've had to work on and implement. And then we also have investigation flow charts, so we know who handles what part of Title IX and who I can assign to as an investigator, a decision maker, an appeals person, and so forth and so on. So we do have this system in place. It's taken me a while to get it all together, but I think we now have a solid Title IX program and system in place. I did provide sexual harassment training for all the maintenance and operation department, and so those were the topics that we went through. I also went not only sexual harassment, but I went through disaster worker information with them, the Ellis program and the standard response protocol, and what their duties would be in the case of an emergency. Okay, so this was provided to all the M&O staff. And then I'm in charge of writing the non-discrimination statement, so I work together with administration and with executive cabinet on the non-discrimination statement. I'm also in charge of pregnant teen parent accommodations and case management. We do have a few students, so I do work with them. I go to their IEPs, to their SSTs. I work with them when they need to have lactation accommodations and so forth and so on. And then I'm also in charge of the Unity and Inclusion program, and I work closely with Ms. Almendaris over there for gender identity plans and any type of LGBTQ student support and accommodations. So that's also part of my department. And so that you can see here, we have lactation rooms at every site. This is a requirement. And we also have menstrual products, in all of our restrooms. It's a requirement that we have them in the female restrooms, in the non-gender restrooms, and in one restroom at each site that's a male restroom. So that is a requirement by law. And we have complied with all of these requirements.
A male restroom?
Yes, sir. One male restroom at each site must have menstrual products. That's law. That's law. And I will tell you that at first it wasn't an easy activity thing to do, but I think that the students have worked through it, and I think now that they're very respectful about having the product in the restrooms. So it's working. It's working. And we do have the yellow signs that you have there. They are up in all of our restrooms. In fact, that's one of the issues that Williams is looking at, and we did comply with all of those issues. So this is a Williams, not finding, but a Williams requirement. Okay. And then again, I'm in charge of COVID updates. So anytime something comes up with COVID, I have to rewrite it. I work with the plan. I wrote the COVID plan. I updated the COVID plan, the letters that go out. I also work with my secretary to order all of the COVID tests. So all those COVID tests, those 8,000 COVID tests that go out every holiday, and the reminders to the parents, that's me. Okay. And then lastly, I have the goals that we have set for next year. So it looks like a long list, but I'm hoping with all of the work that I did this year and all of the collaboration that I've had with everyone, that we're able to meet these. And I really think we will. So we do have our emergency management goals, which has to do with Catapult, with the standard response protocol. Now we're going into training our students, having the assemblies at the beginning of the year, training our parents on the protocol, and training our parents on reunification. It's very important to train them on what our expectations are for reunification. So those are part of our emergency management goals. Then we have facilities and material goals. Right now, you see that those are the grant-funded ones. If they're not grant-funded, well, then I'll have to talk to Mr. Jimenez and Ms. Baez and figure out how we're going to complete that, right? But they're still there. They're still goals. And then I have community awareness goals, which is still continuing with the drug and vaping and awareness there. And I'd like to increase the parents on our district safety committee. It has worked very well. They are ambassadors to our parents at each site. They communicate our goals, they communicate our vision, and they've just been wonderful. Great group of parents to work with. And then Title IX program goals, again, continue with case management and accommodations, establish a unity and equity district committee. We do not have one, but I would like to have one to work through everything that we have to provide for our LGBTQ students. And then, where are we at? Establish a support center for them and update our Title IX protocols. I will have to do that by July. We'll have brand new protocols. And then lastly, continue to train the staff on all of our new Title IX protocols and resources and what we have out there. And that's it. Do we have any questions or? Okay.
Well, good evening, Ms. Limon.
Good evening.
And thank you for the presentation. Your hands are full.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you for all the work you did and everybody else that did to get this SRO. Now it's in the hands of the city officials, and hopefully we can get that SRO before. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get them until next year. So, again, thank you for the hard work in getting that SRO selected.
Thank you.
But I do have some questions on your presentation and your trainings. You know, you answered the question that we started drills, which is good for
Yes.
for not only our students but for our staff to know what to do in an emergency. But my question is, lately it's active shooters is like the trend right now, and I don't see any training for active shooters on your list. Is there one, or am I just missing it?
No, so part of the standard response protocol goes into active shooter training.
So it includes it?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It has a component for active shooter. But like I said, right now, we have had some active shooter drills, not full force. Right now, it's just getting the staff to understand this is what you do, this is how you're going to go about taking count of the students and so forth and so on. And so our first table talk today was actually our first table talk with the police department to have eventually a full-scale active shooter drill, a community active shooter drill. So that's where we're going towards.
Yes, and that's good.
Yes.
Because the reality, if we say it's not going to happen in Calexico, it could happen in Calexico. So I want them to be ready and be able to take care of the situation right away.
And we do address this with our principals. We've addressed it at principals meetings, we've addressed it at leadership meetings. So they are being trained. And that's another part of the component with the reunification training that they just received. That was also included there, the active shooter. It has been eye-opening. I mean, I'm not gonna, it's not an easy topic, but we're getting there.
And another question is, you mentioned that we have 3 plans that we already approved. But my suggestion would be that every school's district site should have a plan.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Calderon, every site
Yes.
has a plan.
Okay, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good. And then, thank you, you answered my question. And the last question I have, you mentioned a command center. Do we have a command center? And if so, where is it located?
So we do have 2 command centers. Right now, I'm working with Mr. Jimenez to make sure that we have all of the materials ready for those command centers. One command center would be right here at the board, and the other command center would be at the CAP Center, which is where I'm located also. But what we have to also look in regards to command center, those are district command centers. You will also have an established command center wherever it is that an intruder drill or an intruder activity is going on. So for example, I don't want to go into detail as to where the command center would be over there in the Willie area, right? But that was an item that was discussed, and we said, okay, this would be the temporary command center if there's an issue that's happening over here. And this would be potential reunification sites in this area. And that's why we're going to have those discussions with that area. We're going to include Mains next and make them part of that pod. And then we're going to have that same type of planning tabletop with Calexico High School, CH9, Dual, and Rockwood. That's going to be another pod. And then we're going to have Jefferson and Kiki, and then Cesar Chavez and Kennedy Gardens. And so that's all coming. That's all being discussed as well. So yes, there are two.
And that is good because the emergency can happen here.
Correct.
So in the event that happens here, then you have the second option.
Correct.
Which is good.
So we will have two.
Yeah, that's all I have. for you.
Okay.
And good presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Moving on to 4, promoting student creativity and learning using marker spaces at CUSD.
Thank you so much, President Alvarado. At this point, I would like to ask Ms. Karina Montaño and her team of technology experts. They're going to give us a presentation here tonight on our educational technology program and the incredible work that the community needs to know about, the board needs to know about, that we need to talk more about what we're doing and what we're going to be doing even more with this. So, Ms. Karina.
Good evening, Board, Mr. Jimenez, administrative staff, and community. We are really excited to be here tonight to talk to you about how and what our department has been doing to promote creativity and learning in our maker spaces. I'd like to start off by introducing my amazing team. Call him the dream team. We have Mr. Perez, Eduardo Perez, as you know. And then we have Mr. Arguelles, our EdTech coach, and Mr. Huerta, our other EdTech coach. And I also like to introduce our amazing team back there, Mr. Aldo Monge and Victor Solis, that's always hard at work. So we have been doing a lot of work this year promoting our maker spaces and at all sites, but this is the work that started since last year. This year, it feels like we fully implemented a lot more. We've been training staff, we've been developing cohorts of teachers, and it just seems to have taken off. We have a lot of teachers that have approached us and contacted us to support them more at the sites, so we've been very, very busy. We also have developed this year 3 district makerspace goals. The first goal is to build a makerspace STEAM learning lab throughout each of our schools. Our second goal is to support schools in training and build capacity for all facilitators and learners. And our third goal is to promote and sustain a makerspace community throughout the Calexico Unified School District. So what is a makerspace? It's a space that is used for collaborative learning, designated work inside a school that encourages students to explore, design, experiment, and build. Also, makerspaces provide hands-on creative ways to encourage students to design, experiment, build, invent as they deeply engage in science, engineering, and tinkering. And what is the goal for our students here at Calexico Unified School District? That they all have access to this amazing space. As Mr. Rogers would say, when you wonder, you're learning. And that is exactly what our students are doing during makerspace time. They're engaged, they're centered, and they're driven by their creativity. Another very important topic for us has been building our teachers' community. We have focused on the professional development that supports the makerspaces. Teachers have engaged in several project-based learning trainings and opportunities. And we have seen this amazing cohort just developed into a very strong community of networking. And it's amazing to see how passionate they become and how excited they are to take back this work to their classrooms. Our teachers have also supported us in also focusing and reaching out for any type of support that they might need for their sites. And they have been very supportive. They have reached out to their principals. And because of this, we've been able to move along this great opportunity. So this is an exciting unit, project-based unit that we had recently, an engineering and design unit. And we had a large group of teachers across the secondary, mostly schools, along with some sixth graders and fifth grade teachers. And they had an opportunity to create a skateboard by design and engineering. And it was just a great day that we saw. It was a great team of educators that enjoyed their time, and they were excited to take this back to their classroom. So we're very excited about this unit. Of course, I want to thank Mr. Alvarado for visiting us on that day, and Mr. Guerrero for stopping by, and because it's always exciting to see when others come around and they see what great work the teachers are doing. And now I'd like to have Mr. Arguelles talk about the learning in the makerspaces.
Good evening, Mr. Jimenez, members of the board, and members of our learning community. Good morning. Good evening. So I'm going to talk a little bit about makerspace mindsets. One of our big pushes is to teach students a manner of thinking that's going to be allowing them to be more creative, to bring in the things that they're learning in the classrooms, but tying them into what they're learning in the makerspace. So when we think about makerspace, it's really, when we hear the term STEAM or STEM, we're tying in the science and mathematics, the engineering, all of those types of learning into the projects that they're doing in this space. Really, what we're trying to promote is that students look at taking risks at something that is natural, and that failure is an option, that they can fail and they can learn from that failure and grow. So that's one of the big pushes, but we try to do this also in our trainings with teachers as well. Now, for our makerspace lessons, one of the big lessons that we do with 3D printing, that Jesus and myself, my colleague here, Jesus, have been doing with 3D printing is to start with wonder. So a lot of our 3D printing lessons start really basically really low tech. We start with just a piece of clay, and the kids design something out of clay, and they start understanding what a 3D model is, what a three-dimensional shape is, and we compare that to a two-dimensional shape on paper. We want the process to be, as they're learning, always to document their ideas, to document what they're learning about, whether it's through writing, through a video recording, or through just speaking and collaborating in groups and speaking and public speaking. So that's a really big piece of what we're trying to tie in, so that the connection is made to what they do in the classroom every day. Now, we may see a lot of what we do with makerspaces and it looks like a lot of fun, and it is a lot of fun for kids, but we also want to make that connection to our state standards and to the engineering, the mathematics, the science that we're teaching. So we're looking at all of the standards that tie into STEM, and that's what we're incorporating lessons that will really build on the mathematics, the science that they're learning inside the classrooms. And we want to make that a part of the makerspaces. So we're working hard with teachers, hopefully over the summer, planning and preparing lessons for the coming year. Right now we have 2 steady schools that have undergone makerspaces that we've been going regularly and doing lessons. We're looking at doing possibly 5 of the schools by next year, 5 of our elementaries, and building from there. So it is a lot of work. We have been really busy doing lessons, but it's really exciting to see the excitement in the students, and we bring that back to the teachers when we do trainings. So that's my time. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague here, Jesus. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Mr. Jimenez, board, our community. So what I wanted to talk about is what are the tools that we use? And so Mr. Arguelles mentioned Play-Doh. We have a lot of low tech, but that's just the building block. Because if they understand a 3D model with Play-Doh, when they see a 3D model in a program, makes it easier to make that connection. So from there, we jump into different areas, such as coding and robotics, laser cutting, VR headsets for learning, and 3D printers. And so why teach 3D printing? These are four huge breakthroughs in the last 3 to 5 years. For example, the first bioprinted human heart. In the next 5 years, we won't need donors anymore. They'll take your blood and DNA, replicate your heart, and replace it if you need to, or any other organ. 3D printed homes. The cost of homes has gone through the roof, which sounds funny because I'm talking about homes, but a 2 to 3 bedroom house can be done for $15,000 in materials in 2 days with a 3D printer. That's 2 days, here's your keys, you move in. So the reason we want to do that is because we want these kids to come up with those big ideas. And if we can get them started in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, we have Mr. Gomez is in 2nd grade, Assessor Chavez. His kids already did their keychains for Mother's Day. That's how young we've gone. Now we're like, okay, let's see first in kinder. If they see it there and they're expecting it every year through high school, they're going to start thinking about it in a way we never will because they'll have 10, 12 years of experience with it versus ours, which is relatively new. So what do students gain? Real world skills. You just saw 4 amazing breakthroughs. This connects, that machine back there is a 3D printer, by the way. That machine connects directly to those breakthroughs because it's the same concept, X, Y, and Z. Math is naturally embedded. We teach angles on a piece of paper, but when they take a model and spin it and they see those numbers and they go, hey, I see that symbol before, that's an angle, right? They truly understand that click that we've seen several times just this year is huge. And there's other things they see through this. The engineering process, they learn it inside and out. A deeper understanding of how computers work, not just an app, but like programs, how do I move files around and so on. And then the level of engagement is huge. So what's our next step? Well, we have a 3D printing academy. We have 2 cohorts. One is ready for next Wednesday. And what will happen there is this. These teachers will build their own 3D printer. They're going to learn how to run it. They'll learn how to design in 3D modeling software and spend their afternoon designing project-based learning lessons with their colleagues. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Ms. Montaño.
Thank you, Mr. Arguez and Mr. Huerta. So we leave you with this. We foster wonder and curiosity in learning to develop the 21st century skills. The journey of learning is never ending and full of opportunities. Our Calexico kiddos deserve this. I think it's a great opportunity for them to develop these future skills. And who better to tell you this than our own students?
We do get to do fun things, but that's mostly not worksheets, or coloring things. So but in the makerspace, there's a whole lot more. You could build with plastic, even sometimes you could even build towers.
The circle that had the hole inside, that had nothing inside of it, which was more different than the other one.
Just over there.
Like the funnest part was when I was making it. The hardest part was like figuring out the controls and when I needed to think of something to figure something out. Stand back.
Excellent. They got it. Very good. Good job, guys.
Good job.
Excellent.
What's our challenge? Stand back.
Excellent. They got it. Very good. Good job, guys.
Good job.
Excellent.
What's our challenge? Stand back.
Excellent. They got it. Very good. Good job, guys.
Good job.
Excellent.
What's our challenge? About the 3D printing is like the app that we use for this. I thought it was gonna be easier than it looks, but it was actually pretty harder because like about the size and all that stuff. So I got pretty confused. Also, one thing I liked about the 3D printing is that it actually like got me time to like spend with like some of my classmates that I usually don't play with.
So we just want to thank you for your support, and we invite you to visit some of these maker spaces. We know that Cesar Chavez already has a fully implemented maker space, and the rest of the schools are on their way. So we're excited for you to join us on this journey.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I have a question and
Sure.
a comment for you. Thank you, and thank your staff, Mr. Arguelles, and Mr. Huerta, and Eddie. I've seen your work at firsthand. I mean, I've gone to your presentations, and it's priceless to see a face of a kid like engaged in what they're doing. And the only question I think you answered it is that, and Mr. Jimenez can attest to this, is that when we were at Jefferson, it was a great, I mean, even the hot dogs went away right away. But there was a young lady with her cousin that actually went to Jefferson. And what she said is I go to Maine's, and I'm not being exposed to this. And I want to be, and you answered my question, because we talk about equality, and it doesn't matter where you go to school in Calexico, it's important that everybody gets an opportunity, and I'm sure you will, but I wanted to mention that because it was kind of hard. It hit in the heart because I said, I go to Maine's, but I want to do the same thing. So again, thank you for your hard work, and I've seen it, Mr. Huerta. I mean, I couldn't believe that you can build a house for $15,000, which is, it's, yeah, it's,
Yes.
you just got to buy land, you know.
And just to respond
buy
to your,
dirt, like the song says.
to your comment, Mr. Calderon, absolutely. I think that statement stayed with me when you mentioned it last time. So we are making sure that all schools have access to the tools that Cesar Chavez has, because they all deserve it. So providing the access is really important to us.
Yeah, and I invite the board. I mean,
Yes.
these are excellent
And
presentations. I
one
mean,
of
these
the
are-
one of the things that I learned from actually doing just a walkthrough and seeing the teachers how engaged they were was, I don't know if it came from you, Ms. Montaño, or from Romel, saying about a trailer. You know, if we could put something in a trailer and move it over to each site, each school site, and that way they could have their hands on, that would be something to think about also. I mean, for this time also as well. And I said, you know what, that's a great idea, because I mean,
Definitely.
if these kids know that, you know what, hey, the trailer's going to come. When the trailer comes, we're going to get our hands on doing something different. I mean, that's something to look forward to also as well.
Yes. Yeah, we like that idea.
IB already has one, and then it's a set, so
Yes.
I'm sure that we can
We have seen it. Yes. And I don't know if you saw the little name tags you saw on your front of you. Those were created by Mr. Huerta through his laser cutter, and we didn't have enough time to print out some through the 3D printer, but next time we'll have some for you available. But we do like to invite you to look at some of the items that Mr. Huerta has over there on the side. I know he's a little modest, but there's some amazing products that he created. I don't know if you want to show them, Mr. Huerta, the hands from the prosthesis.
That Batman, yeah. So these are working prosthetics off machines. When I was in El Centro, I had fifth graders that were able to figure out how to size it for a hypothetical patient. Because of them and their work and what I submitted, I was able to win an award, and that's off of them. That's not really off of me. That's off of the work that they did. But something that I wanted to share was actually this right here. Going to see that and pass it around. It's a sensory cube that was designed by sixth graders here in Calexico, and they designed it right when we went into the pandemic. We still finished that project. It's one about assistive tools. I shared that during a PD I did for a 3D print company that I worked with in the summers, and there was a college level student that asked, hey, could you share that file? I have access to a printer, but I never thought of making one for myself. I have autism and ADHD, and I asked him, can you share that with this group of educators? And he was a little shy, but he's like, you know what, I will. And he mentioned how that could impact him because he's only seen the ones that make noise. Everything makes noise. He goes, but that one, he goes, doesn't make noise. And I told him, that's actually deliberate. My students designed it like that. I told him, so where's the clicky stuff? They're like, we want them to have it in their desk like this, so that way the teacher doesn't get upset with it. And these are 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds. That's what they're thinking about now. So there's other items here. Some are just to show the quality of prints, but just so you can see, you start with little items that you can, little cositas. But the true potential is assistive tools and the other breakthroughs that we saw.
Amazing work.
So these are amazing opportunities, and the students are developing all these life skills throughout the process. So we're very excited with this work. Thank you for your support.
And
Again.
I want to briefly share that the word is getting around. We had not too long ago, just a couple months ago, a neighboring school district who actually asked if they could visit us, and Ms. Montaño and her team give them a tour of our maker spaces and what we're doing with our 3D printers. The word is getting around of what Calexico is doing. And one of the big things that we're also looking at district-wide, and we're having a lot of meetings in all of our departments, whether we're talking about world languages, whether we're talking about education, technology, music, arts, is creating a K-12 pathway, right? We don't want to do something kinder through 5th grade, have kids do K-5, and then it stops there. There's no more opportunities to continue it. So we want to create opportunities where a student, whether it's arts, it's music, it's theater, it's technology, world languages, or what have you, that they have those we create those pathways, TK through 12th grade. Because imagine that a student has 14 years of something. By the time they graduate, they're going to be graduating not with their AA degree with Mr. Torres, but they're going to be graduating with their bachelor's degree, right? After 14 years of having that opportunity to grow with something like that. So those are things that we're looking at. I know it is long-term planning, but that's really where one of the things we need to also be looking at. So thank you guys for your great work. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
Mr. Reyes was also a tennis player. He's also also was a tennis coach.
No comments.
He was there.
H, comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any item of district business that is not on the agenda. None?
Mr. President, I like a couple of minutes.
What's that?
We have the new food director here. If you can, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you know what? I like to see a face to the name. And can you just come up and tell us who you are?
You're stealing my thunder, but
Oh,
that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
If you want to do it now,
you know what? I'm sorry.
If you want to do it now,
I pulled a. No, because I saw her, and you know what?
although I'm glad you mentioned that, because she begged me not to ask her to speak. I said I might not be able to control that. The board might want to hear you, and I said, so I'm not sure if I could do that or not. I said, but let me see what I could do. But now she's got a couple minutes to get ready,
or
and
I'm
to
glad
get more nervous.
To bring it up because I've been here since 2014, and we've had a lot of directors, and there's times where you don't even know who you're talking to.
Right.
So again,
So
and not only me, but the public.
Let's go ahead and move on, because it's almost going to be 8 o'clock, and we have a lot of things to go on, cover up. So consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion, unless any item is pulled for separate consideration and action.
I have one.
Well, go ahead.
The
What item?
charger stations we have like.
You want to pull an item?
I just want to discuss it.
Yeah, but what item do you want to pull? That way we
It's
can go ahead and
the,
move on to the other.
Yeah.
I have 3, 4,
Uh-huh.
7, and 11.
3, 4, 7, and 11.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pacheco, what items?
It was just the charger stations where we're gonna locate them, and why so
Okay.
many?
Do we know which one that one is on the consent agenda?
But that's it's not, I think it's isn't it? It's on the
Let me see.
action item, isn't it?
That's an action item, so we could discuss that. Is it?
No, it's on consent. It's a
Number
payable pre-list.
Oh, it's on the pre-list. So
I'm
let's
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move 2 also as well. Add it to that. So I'll make a motion to approve 1, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. So let's go ahead and we'll go with yours. It's accounts payable pre-list, the one that you brought up.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
And why so many charger stations for different school sites and the high school and the 9th grade, and are we going to charge our buses or?
That is correct. We're actually and specifically we're putting in chargers for our buses, and we're also putting in chargers for our CTE auto shop program here at the high school. So specifically, I'd have to look at
I know
at that one.
CHS in the ninth grade and.
No, it's only going to be at CHS. Some chargers are going to go over at CHS for our CTE auto shop program, and then some are going to be at the yard over here for our buses.
Okay, all right.
And Eddie, you have a few more information on that? Yes, please, Eddie.
Go ahead.
If I understand correctly, Mr. Pacheco, is that from ACP Direct? Is that the vendor that you're looking for? Because we ordered some charging station for the classroom for the devices. We received feedback from the sites about places to charge the electronic devices, the iPads or the MacBooks, and most likely is the pre-list for those charging devices.
Yeah, that's the
towers
one
that
that
we
had the
purchased.
multiple.
And that is for all the sites.
It's
Or
a
secondary
card,
schools.
isn't it?
Excuse me?
It's a card.
It's like a little tower with outlets to connect, and we're purchasing a few more for like regular floor outlets. Something like that, huh?
Okay. Different charger. I thought you were talking about the vehicle chargers.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
No, because I think it appears on multiple, I think it's those plus
Oh.
the others.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it looks like it's,
So with that said, on item number 2, with that said, on consent agenda item number 2, we have any other questions, comments?
No.
With none,
I move to approve.
I'll go ahead and second that. Motion made by Mr. Calderon, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Now moving on to number 3.
It's 4-0.
That was for you.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Number 3. You know what? It'll be quick. That's good we're doing this. And you know why? Because we don't have any feeder teams to feed our football team. The coaches spend a lot of time training or actually getting them ready for competition. So, again, good for the coaches and anybody that's taking.
And we're taking players to this as well, Mr. Calderon. So I'm also excited that coaches are going with players.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Yes.
18 players, which is good. A good thing that we're doing. 4, go ahead.
With that said, move on to motion to
So
approve. So moved by Mr. Contreras.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 4.
Number 4, just do we have any dates as to when the pool's going to be open for the community? Because I have been receiving calls from the senior citizens because they want to go to their aerobics.
I could send you those dates. I'll check in with Ms. Garcia, and I will send you all of our dates. I know all that was being worked out, so we could have all of our summer dates available, and I could send the board as soon as I get them. I'll send you guys, email you those dates.
Thank you.
So
And
you have 'em.
and for the community, most important.
Yes.
So. All right.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Now moving on to number 7.
7. The question I have, what's the difference between this item and K7? And
So, K7. So one of them is for the maintenance, and the other one is for the repair. So we're required by law, anything that's an elevator, that has to have an annual maintenance plan. And so they'll come, they'll do the inspection, they'll do like, preventive maintenance type of a thing. But if there's an actual broken part or broken piece, then it has to be repaired. So this one right here is for the repair of any wheelchair lifts. So these are like little elevators that are at a stages.
Yes,
that go from the floor to the stage.
Thank you. I move to approve.
I'll second. Motion by Mr. Calderon, second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 11.
Number 11, I see that we have a new company, RNK. What happened to Vic? That's our main contractor.
Right, they're still there, but when we're put out for quotes for different projects, and we get quotes back from different companies, and RNK submitted a quote, and they offered us the best responsive quote for this job right there. So we're going with the best price for the job.
Which is good. That's all
Yes.
I wanted to hear. Thank you.
All right.
All right,
So
and
there-
that's all I have.
I'll
I
make a
motion to approve.
Second that. Motion by Mr. Calderon, second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
aye.
Aye. Motion passes
Aye.
5-0. Let's move on to J, information items. 1, superintendent's report.
Thank you so much, President Calderon, and board members, and ladies and gentlemen of the audience. President Alvarado.
Well, I know
I'm
you're
sorry.
thinking about me, so that's
President, I apologize about that, President Alvarado. I want to, as we all know, this week we're celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week. Yesterday we had the opportunity of sending all of our teachers an email with a postcard of appreciation, and then the teacher appreciation item that we sent out this year was a throw with the Calexico Unified School District logo on them. And we know that it's only nothing but a small token of appreciation that demonstrates how much we appreciate all of our teachers and certificated staff. So I just want to take this opportunity once again to thank all of our certificated staff, thank our teachers, our counselors, our psychologists, our principals, everyone on the certificated side of the house for all their hard work, dedication, passion, commitment, and what they do for our students. They were not surprised completely because that cat was let out of the box previously, but they still appreciated it nonetheless. And next week we have Classified Employee Appreciation Week, and so we'll be doing something similar for our classified employees. I want to let the community know that enrollment has been open since April 15th. Our schools are open for enrollment for the 2023-2024 school year. Parents, enroll your children in school for all of our TK and kinder students, or at any grade level. If you just moved into our community and you're needing to enroll your children for the next school year, please go to your local school, the closest school to you. They will help you there. They will support you through your enrollment requirements. And if you take your birth certificate, your immunization records, your verification of address, what's your address, so we can make sure that you're at the right school that you're supposed to be at. If you could take any type of proof of address, proof of residency, a rental agreement, or a current rental receipt, or a mortgage statement, utility statement under your name, that would suffice to show us where you live. And again, just so we can make sure that we have you at the right school. 2 recent utility receipts will work, gas, water, electric, and that will expedite the process to enroll your child in school. So that way you won't have to make too many back and forth getting things. So if you bring those items with you, we could expedite the process and get your children enrolled in school for the next school year. This week I want to share with the board that actually a couple weeks ago on April 26th, I chaired a athletic PE committee. I want to thank Mr. Contreras and Ms. Magallanes who were present at that meeting. It was a very, I think, effective and productive. I think we had 20, 25, 30 varsity coaches and PE teachers here. It was a full room. It wrapped all the way around. We had some very good discussions on 9th grade sports, on junior high school intramural sports, and even on elementary sports. Out of that committee, we created a subcommittee. There's going to be about 10, 11 of us at that subcommittee, and we're scheduled to meet on May 16th next week to continue talking about bringing 9th grade sports and intramural sports at our junior high schools. So I'm excited to share that with the board. Also this week, just yesterday, we met with the Student Behavior and Support Committee. This was a committee that we created with management, classified employees, certificate employees, counselors, principals, teachers, elementary, middle school, and high school, on looking at student behavior and mental health. And then the mental health part of it, not only on student mental health, but also staff mental health, making sure that we're taking care of one another, making sure that we're doing what we need to do to support each other. We had a very productive meeting. I want to thank Ms. Jessica Mathis, our coordinator of MTSS, who helped facilitate that meeting, and we had a very half-day meeting with our staff members looking at different programs. We'll be meeting again in June and start working on identifying the challenges and identifying solutions in addressing student behavior in our schools. Also, on May 4th, I want to take Ms. Brisa Price. She facilitated a CTE department meeting with just about all of our CTE teachers who were there. A couple weren't able to make it, and I had the opportunity of spending a couple hours with them as well to discuss their challenges, their needs, what we could do to make the program stronger and better. And so I'm excited with the work that's taking place with CTE. I'm a big believer in CTE. I think it's a pathway. Talk about 21st century skills. In a way, the world is coming back to those hands-on type jobs that we're going to need for our future. So the CT is the department that I think Calexico is prime for, and we want to see how we could support it more. The Calexico Educational Foundation Scholarship 2023 deadline is this Friday, May 12th, before midnight. So stop by the Calexico High School Counseling Office for the application packet and visits. We have a hyperlink where kids could visit for our Calexico seniors for a fillable common scholarship application. Don't miss the opportunity to apply for more scholarships. There are 30 to 40 scholarships available for you. So this is through our Calexico Education Foundation. I had the opportunity of attending the Calexico Education Foundation. I know that Mr. Alvarado was there as well. It was a lot of fun. I didn't win the grand prize, but maybe next year I'm going to win. I know that me and Miss Karina had a competition, but we'll try again next year. But the food was delicious. I met our former CHS high school alumni from 2019, Choco, who won Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento, which is a national television show for musical talent. And he was the band singer there, sings incredible. And we actually had dinner together that night. And he says, if you guys ever need me or want to do some type of event or want to do some type of community with your community, call me. I'll be there for you guys. I love to partner with you guys and do something with my alma mater and my former district. So I know Ms. Karina got his contact information, and just a great person, great kid. So congratulations to our boys volleyball who won their CIF quarterfinal match versus Central 3-0. The boys moved on to the semifinals yesterday, May 10th, against Escondido School. Unfortunately, they did fall a little bit short to Escondido, but they represented Calexico well, and we're very proud of them as well. Our next board meeting will be held Thursday, May 25th, 2023. And also on May 17th, we're also having our years of service and retirement ceremony at Cesar Chavez Elementary School. So for all of our folks who are celebrating their years of service or their retirement, we wish for all of you to attend so that we could celebrate your commitment to Calexico. And last but not least, I'd like to formally introduce to our school board and our community, Ms. Araceli Alonso, our new Director of Nutrition Services. Ms. Araceli, I'm sorry, you're going to have to come up to the podium and just share a few words as she's doing that.
Absolutely. Good night, board members, Mr. Jimenez, staff, and community. Thank you for having me here tonight. I just want to say thank you for this great opportunity. I'm a little shy to talk in front of people, so that's why I said, Mr. Jimenez, please excuse me with the board members, but he didn't, obviously. So, but thank you for this great opportunity. I'm gonna fit in a big shoes, but you know what? I'm gonna work so hard to make the district look good, to make our kids succeed in nutrition, and then I'm here for whatever you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alonso. We are very fortunate. I believe we got a great find with Ms. Alonso. We did take her from a local school district, and I do want to thank our Personnel Commission department who set all that up for our interviews, and we were able to interview Miss Alonso, and she had me at hello. So I'm glad that she joined our team. Welcome on board, Miss Alonso. And that's it. Yes.
Thank you for that report. Number 2, Insurance Committee.
Yes, we just have a brief update from Mr. Romel Guerrero, our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Good evening, Superintendent Jimenez, President Alvarado, and board members, members of the public. Just want to update you on the new open enrollment window. We had to switch our window from May to August in order to accommodate negotiations with our 2 bargaining units, ACT and CSEA. So our new window for open enrollment will be August 7th through August 25th. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Number 3, LCAP.
Thank you, Ms. Ramirez, our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, has a brief update.
Brief update. Good evening, Superintendent Jimenez, Board President, trustees, and members of the public. My name is Elisa Ramirez. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, and I just have 3 quick updates. The first one is that this week on May 9th, we held our first, this year's parent advisory consultation for one of the LCAP local indicators, which is a tool that our parents have to provide a feedback and score us. Although I planned the meeting, it was unfortunate I couldn't attend because we actually had a great turnout. We had over 17 parents, and I have an awesome Ed Services team that last minute jumped in and did the presentation, and we're there to support. So a big thank you to Alejandra Limon and Brisa and Hortensia, who I know are super busy, but yet they took over the slides, and then Esmeralda and Sylvia were there. They brought in their migrant pack, their L pack, and then our parent advisory. We had over 17 parents. We had a migrant specialist there also supporting. I hear that our parents were very outspoken, and really nice to see that our parents are now re-engaging with us. And so they did present the plan, they scored us, and that data was used for us to complete the draft of the LCAP. Second, today we submitted to ICOE the draft of the LCAP without the budget piece because we're still working on that. But they will be meeting with me next week to go over it and look at some of the updates or things that we need to make sure that are part of it. And then on May 23rd at 5:30, we're going to be meeting with, again, all of our district advisory committee, LPAC, and migrant parents again. And now we're going to present to them the draft of the LCAP. So those are the things that are happening related to LCAP prior to bringing it to you in June for approval. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for that update, Ms. Menes. 4 board reports. We're going to start. Ciara?
Good evening, everyone. Well, as everybody knows, the school year is wrapping up. All the testing is being done. These last couple of weeks, we've been doing AP testing. And I think this is the last week we're wrapping up all the testing. And just want to congratulate everybody who did it. We finished everything. We're done. We have the last final SBAC testings this coming up week and finals. And we'll congratulate all the seniors who are graduating. And we'll I wish them all the best.
Thank you for that, Ciara. Mr. Calderon?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'll be brief. Congratulations to the boys volleyball. It's a fairly new team, and they went up and played their hearts out. So congratulations, and the coaches, and also the tennis team tonight. It was a good showing, and hopefully Calexico can go back to what we were in the past. We just need a football team to win. So, all right, that's all I have. Thank you, and thank you all for joining us.
Thank you for that, Mr. Calderon. Mr. Contreras?
Yeah, I was able to attend the athletics meeting that we had. I think Mr. Jimenez covered all of it, right? But I think one of the things that we're looking at is the growth, inclusiveness, and support for athletics throughout, getting it just from the high school all the way down to first grade, so that we have more events and more things that the kids could focus on. Thank you.
Thank you for Mr. Contreras. Mr. Pacheco?
I had an opportunity to go to 3 school sites and talk to some teachers about, since we're having all these programs coming up, and see if we're going to renew them. I wanted to find out what's going on with, especially the iReady, and I asked them, these are at random. I went to 3 sites. went to Rockwood, I went to Maines, and I went to BC, kind of in that area. And I spoke to some teachers, and they were talking about the iReady was, it's okay if the students are reading. If the students are lacking any reading skills, they're not going to make it on the iReady. The math part is a lot easier than the reading, and newcomers and kids that are having a difficult time reading are not going to have success on the computer. You work it, and a yellow flag or a red flag means you didn't pass the lesson. Basically, is you have to be a reader to do well in that. And I also asked, what do you think about the Orenda? And this is where I got a little more serious. It takes the fun out of school. School kids are not focused on that, and they called it. What do you think? Well, it's horrenda. Too much stuff. We're losing teaching and we're losing learning. We're losing teaching and we're losing learning. Kids are burnt out. Another word, horrenda. It's not leveled for readers, okay? ELA lacks the math. No, that's another one. Horrendous. It's too demanding. It's a waste of time. It's not there for the level of the students. It's not developmental for students are to be. Another one says just kids don't like it. It's too challenging, and it's not preparing them for the state test. Basically, it's I don't think it's working. With these 3, 6, 9, 12 people spoke different sites. They were not in favor of the program. And that's just a little chance that I had to speak to these people. And I wanted to know more about the program, so I said, okay. So that's what I did. So I'm more aware of what they're doing and working on the computers and doing stuff. And things are not as smooth as they look. So what do you think? Well, it's horrenda. Okay, enough said. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Mr. Pacheco. Let's go ahead and move on to mine real quick. And if you want to add something, you could add something a little bit later on. But I had the opportunity to go ahead and walk through a couple of campuses. I walked through Willie Moreno and the high school. Saw a lot of good things. I actually got to see also the market. What was it that I walked through where they're making the skateboards and stuff that the teachers. That was something that was good. But on another note, our CTE program with Mr. Fisher. I mean, that's one of those programs that I think we need to go ahead and start taking a look at, especially with everything going on. It was brought up, lithium, some of the stuff that he's doing with the students compared to what it was, where I could say 6, 7, 8 years ago when we had the previous instructor to now. I mean, it's night and day. Mr. Fisher, I mean, I don't know. He's just doing great things with our students. I mean, they're even starting to write about him now out there in the magazine, in public. You got Mr. Newsom wanting to come down and actually pay him a visit as far as that goes. So I think we need to go ahead and start highlighting some of these programs that we have going on here. There's really great programs going on, especially with our culinary school. I had a chance also to talk to Chef through the competition and stuff like that. But there's also other courses that are being offered there. I want to know exactly what's going on with those courses. How are we evaluating those courses? What feedback are we getting back from our students? Are they beneficial? If not, I mean, there's other pathways also as well, as far as like for HVAC, trying to get that in here into our school sites or plumbing. But I mean, there's more and more that I could say and stuff like that. But that's just pretty much what I did, walking through those sites and stuff like that. Some good things going on at Willie Moreno. Actually, I liked what I saw compared to some of the reports that we were getting previously. There's a lot of good things going on over there. A lot of great teachers that are out there, and there are a lot of good engagement with our students also as well. Walked into a math class, and I mean, there was some good stuff going on there also as well. With that said, want to congratulate our tennis team and our volleyball teams, and also our our other sports that are going on. I know baseball's going on also as well, and softball. Wish them nothing but the best. And let's go ahead and start on with Kay. So action items. Or you want add anything to what was previously stated?
I just want to say that we are planning a board presentation on Arenda for the June board meeting. Maybe one of the things that we haven't done a very good job at is explaining what Arenda is and what it is not. We do want to show some actual real live analytics that shows that Arenda is having results. So we'll be bringing more information to the board at the June board meeting to provide more information on Arenda to the board. So thank you for your comments, Mr. Pacheco. I appreciate
They
that
were
you're
just
bringing
not
that.
pleased. These 12 teachers
Yeah.
are not pleased with the program.
Yeah, I understand. I've said it before and I'll say it again and again and again. It is our duty to do something about our student achievements. And the levels of our student reading, writing, science scores, and all that sort of stuff. So we'll bring more about academic achievement and like I said, those types of initiatives and programs. So we'll be bringing more information on that.
Thank you for that. One, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial Valley Regional Occupational Program for core career technical educational CT supported services for 3 school years, 23 through 26.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, seconded by Mr. Calderon. All those in
And,
favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 2, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial Valley College offering courses in college and career access pathways, a dual enrollment partnership for the 23 to 26 academic school years.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Calderon, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 3, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Harris Systems USA Incorporated to provide reporting tools for food services staff.
So moved.
Second, motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 4, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Asset Works LLC for inventory management services. I'll
So
make
moved.
Second.
motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 5, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and AMS.net for single wire licenses for the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Calderon, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 6, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial Valley Community College for educational field experience from May 12, 2023 through May 11, 2028.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Calderon, seconded by Mr. Contreras. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 7, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Cone Incorporated to provide wheelchair lift maintenance at various sites. So moved.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 8, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Cedric Technologies Incorporated for the June 23 and June 25 for software licenses, professional development, and classroom support for credit recovery.
So moved.
Need some background?
So there's a motion by Mr. Calderon, second by Mr. Contreras.
Question.
With, question?
Yep.
Go ahead.
What's going on here, Mr.
This is our credit recovery online program for our students who are credit deficient, and they have the opportunity of making up their credits through this program. It's a program we've had already. It's a renewal, and we've had it for several years already.
$800,000 for that? Is that the online program?
Yes, it's a 2-year program. I believe it's a 2-year program. Brisa, could you provide more information on this?
June 23 to June 25th. So
It's a 2-year.
Yeah.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent, and members of the public. Yes, this is a 2-year agreement for Subject.com for credit recovery. It is going from, currently we pay about $300,000 for 500 licenses. However, we are moving towards a district license, which is only $100,000 more, and it allows everybody that needs to have credit recovery at both Calexico High School and Aurora an opportunity to enroll in this program.
Perfect. So there was any other questions?
No, it's expensive. Yeah.
There's a motion by Mr. Calderon, seconded by Mr. Contreras. All in favor, please state aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Number 9, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Curriculum Associates to provide iReady as a diagnostic tool for ELA and math for the 23-24 school year.
Question?
Well,
I'll motion.
A motion for discussion?
so there's a motion by Mr. Calderon, seconded
Second.
by Pacheco. With the question, go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's no background information on how these, how we've done in the past with the iReady. No information. How did we do compared last year to this year? How are the kids doing? How can we make a decision on no data?
I know that at a previous meeting, actually probably several board meetings ago, we did, Ms. Ramirez did present, gave a presentation on our student testing data that included this. We could definitely bring this back to the board for another presentation. Ms. Ramirez already has it completed. We shared it with the board, but yes, Ms. Ramirez, if you could.
So besides being an assessment and collecting data, it also has a module. So when the students take this diagnostic test, it creates an
Places
individual
them,
learning
yeah.
plan. So for the students, so the students then work on their module.
Yeah, it places them in a program.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And this is done during their RTI time, which is their intervention time, not during their core time.
yeah. We just need. I need more data.
We can bring that again to another presentation.
Yeah.
Well, I'll withdraw my motion.
Table,
and
that's fine.
Table it instead.
You want
and
to
then
table
we'll
it and
bring-
bring it back for our
We
next
don't have
board?
any, like, we have to do it now? That we have time to approve it?
Well, yeah, we have time.
Okay.
And also we use this also for the LCAP. All that data is included as part of our metrics.
All right. I'm willing to withdraw my motion to approve it, but to table now.
All right, so there's a motion by Mr. Calderon to table it for
Second.
next board meeting,
Yeah,
second by
with
Mr.
data.
Pacheco.
You know.
All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 10, agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Curriculum Associates for data management services to English learner students.
Is this one related to?
No,
No?
it's not related to iReady. This is for our EL learners, and it's for
It's-
tracking their progress, their data, and providing us like real life.
We already do this, correct? We already have it, or is it?
Yes, it's a
Well,
renewal.
It's just a renewal?
Yeah,
I motion.
all these are
But
renewals.
I have a question. What?
Second
Wait,
motion.
Second okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Calderon, second by Mr. Contreras, and there's a question. Go ahead.
Who's going to be doing this, Mr. All classroom teachers?
Right, Ms. Yanis, could you provide information?
Good evening, board member Silvia Yanez, EL coordinator. Elevation, it's a platform where we keep all the information regarding English language learners, where we also make a note of the interventions that we're placing, for instance, the ELIT pullouts, if the students are receiving ELD, if the students are receiving migrant services as part of their intervention, if the students are receiving after-school tutoring, all of that, all in one platform. So what we're doing, the EL specialists enter that information as well as my office.
Strategies for classroom teachers, are teachers going to be utilizing this program?
Yes, it also comes with strategies, and part of the goal is that we provide the training to the teachers because it has some LPAC tasks that we can use to prepare our students for the LPAC test.
Is it like a live, I'm sorry, is
Go
it
ahead.
like a live assessment that is continuing?
It's not an assessment, it gives lessons based on the standards. For instance, the teachers can say, let me have an ELD standard 9.1. Give me some lessons, and it'll provide a list of lessons that teachers can use in the classroom to prep the students.
Have the teachers been appraised? Have they had a chance to look at this program? Are they aware of what it is?
Yes, some of our staff members are aware of it, and some of our staff are already using it, like our ELITs, our EL specialists.
Not like the Orenda. I mean, we don't want to go through that phase again. We want to make sure that the teachers are willing to work with this program. If it's coming from the top down, it's not going to work. I think the teachers need to be on board first before we can use it. Before they need to say, yes, I like this program. I think, yes. Look, it's got this, it's got this. Have they had the opportunity to look at this at the sites?
Our ASTs are academic support teachers, and some of our staff members, not all teachers have used it because we have not we have about 400 teachers, we have not provided the training nor the information to all of them. However, the Elevation, it's a platform that keeps the monitoring tool, the reclassification, the interventions, and as well, it can provide lesson plans for teachers.
Yeah.
So it has two different purposes.
My concern is that we keep, what are we taking away? What are we releasing? We just keep adding to the staff. We keep pounding down on them.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's something that we could go ahead and discuss further, like on a certain item and stuff like that, as far as that goes. I think right now there's already, I mean, if there's any other questions or concerns and stuff like that way we could take it to a vote. If we need to bring it back, we'll bring it back. If not, I mean, there was already a motion in place and stuff like that, so that way we could go ahead and move.
So just put it up for vote.
So there's motions, been already motioned by Mr. Calderon, second by Mr. Contreras. All in favor in regards to it? Can I get an aye?
Aye.
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 No?
No.
Okay, so motion passes 4-1. 4-1, we can't vote. So moving on now to where we at? Number 11, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Northern Arizona University for clinical practicum and or internship education for May 15, 2023 through May 14,
So moved.
2028.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, seconded by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 12, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Wake Music LLC to perform at the Seal of Biliteracy ceremony on June 5th, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Motion by myself, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 13, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Global Modular Incorporated for the lease of one 12x40 modular restroom building for construction projects at Calexico High School.
So moved.
Question.
Motion by Mr. Calderon. I'll make a
Second.
second and go ahead, Mr. Contreras.
You know, so this is some of the modulars. One of the things that we wanted to start moving away from was the leasing component of it. You know, and we wanted to make sure that the associated cost is not something that is continuous or running. You know, so for me, is that $91,300 seems to be kind of like high, and don't know what the price of buying that. You know, and although these are restrooms, you know, so they do require, when you're taking them away or moving them, it requires other type of services later on. And I saw that there was two costs in there. I know that these are refurbished, you know, but do we have a cost of what it would be if we were to purchase it rather than to lease it?
Yeah, and so we don't have a cost to purchase precisely this one right here, but I know that we recently did look at the cost of purchasing a restroom, and it's in the several hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, this one right here, right, Mr. Contreras, is for specifically for the construction purpose. It's going to go over a no-name field by our temporary cafeteria while everything is being demolished and rebuilt.
I got all that,
Yeah.
where it was going to go and all that. I was just looking at the cost and
Right.
seeing this. It's something, you know, because you're paying about $30,000 per year, you
Right.
know, so it's just, you know, it's just something that would be better if we bought, you know, than if the lease is the best option, and then that's what it is.
It is for 3 years for $90,000. It'll still be cheaper than purchasing the restroom.
I had the same question, but because it's temporary construction, we have no choice at this point.
Yeah.
And it's in the I'm not in the culinary, but dining area, correct?
Yes, it's
So we want
over
our
by
kids
the
to wash
kitchen,
their
yeah.
hands when they're going to eat,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, question.
Important.
Yeah.
All right, so with that said, there's a motion on the floor. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. For 14, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Park House Tire to replace 2 tires on the backhoe tractor at maintenance and operations. So moved.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
passes 5-0. 15, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Miriam Alvarez Navarro to provide ballet classes during summer camp 180.
So moved.
Question.
Motion by Mr. Calderon. Who's second?
I did.
Mr. Contreras, go ahead, Mr. Pacheco.
She's going to earn $21,000 for summer, and that's $250 a class. It's a lot of money for
A lot of kids going through it.
there's 48 lessons. She'll be making more than a summer school teacher.
That's actually for that's actually
That's a ballet skill.
not a lot of money, Mister. I mean, I don't want to say that was the right way of saying it. For consultants to pay for contracts, it's actually on the lower end of hiring consultants to come into our district and provide a certain expertise. You know, she does.
She's on board already. I know she
Yeah.
does that with everybody. It
And I'm
just seemed a
telling you,
little high.
she's just excellent to work with. She does anything and everything
no,
we
I'm just-
we ask her to do, and works with our kids, boys, girls, and you know.
So there's a motion on the floor. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 16, bid award and approval of agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Standard Electronics for a telecore clock paging management system district-wide.
It looks like it's a lot of money, but I think for some of the stuff that I read in there and the things that they're looking to provide, they're really necessary things.
Yeah.
And, you know, once you standardize and cut it down to what it's gonna cover and all that stuff, you know, it's not a bad cost.
So
Move for approval.
I'll second that. But there's another comment by Mr. Pacheco.
There was just one bid. It looks as if we only had one company.
There's three. We have three.
Yeah,
Was there three?
Yeah, there was
There's
three.
Standard.
I would like to explain a little bit also about the cost on that. This is absolutely, you're right, Mr. Contreras. This is one of those emergency safety features that we need to have in our schools. But there is that $1.7 million price tag on that. However, half of that, about $800,000, and I want to thank Ms. Esmeralda Garcia because half of that is going to come from expanded learning program, because in the expanded learning program from 2 to 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, we also need to have these safety features at our schools to be able to communicate during emergency, sound alarms, use intercoms, use the PA system. So that 1.7 million, half of it again is coming from expanded learning. And in additional to that, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I mean, but I feel pretty good about the COPS grants, but we included this work in the COPS grant as well. So I know I can't count on it yet right now, but if we do get the COPS grants, so it'll go from 1.7 down to about $800,000, down to I think like around $500,000 if we were to get the COPS grant.
I know that there was multiple bids on it, but I think this one only has that one bid. The winner, not the other.
Right. Could I ask Mr. Ocampo to provide information on that? How many bids did we have on this, Danny?
One.
Okay.
There was only one.
So, Daniel Campo, Director of Maintenance and Operations, we did have, when we did the walkthrough, we did have 5 companies show up for the walkthrough, but only 1 company submitted bids.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
So, we do have, if you want to see the sign-in sheet, we do have it available.
Yeah, and that was everybody that was up there, right? That was walking around. That
Yes.
one time when I passed by, there was, I mean,
Yeah.
there was a good amount of people out there. So I'm good with that. There's a
I
motion.
think for future, it's good to show that, because I know that we had seen the companies in there, but, you know.
Let's see if we
there's
can
only
share
one
the
bid.
cost.
Yeah. So there's a motion. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 17, award request for proposals and agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Verco Incorporated for classroom furniture and cafeteria tables for Kennedy Gardens and Mains Elementary School.
I motion to approve with a comment.
I'll make a second by Mr. Contreras. Go ahead.
When are we gonna receive this furniture?
I know.
You know it's gonna be on your anniversary.
Yes,
I know that.
yes.
I don't recall the teacher at Kennedy Gardens, but I guess we'll make her hold. Give her
Right,
the-
right.
That
And
was
there-
your first day at work, so.
Right. So I think we got about a 6 to 8 week turnaround time from Verco, and they're going to come. They're going to install, and they're going to place them in our classroom. So we are anticipating and feel pretty confident about having it done before the kids come back for the new school
Back
year.
in August?
Yes.
The second bidder guarantees a 15-year warranty, and Verco does a 10-year warranty, and the difference is only $1,000. Why didn't we go with the longer warranty?
Well, we went with the lowest responsive bidder, which was Verco. We also with Verco, these tables are not the laminate, which are kind of like compact sawdust.
Like
With
this.
Verco, we're getting like the hard plastic tabletops, a lot more durable, will last longer. With the other ones, there's like a rubber edge that starts kind of like peeling off, and then the compact sawdust starts scratching off and stuff like that. So we think we got a good product here for a good price, and
Yeah, not that.
There's a motion to approve. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 18, bid award and approval agreement between Calexico Unified School District and American Integrated Services Incorporated for the soil removal for the modernization construction projects at Calexico High School.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Calderon, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Number 19, memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and the City of Calexico Recreation Department for the 23 City Summer Swim Program.
moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Pacheco, seconded by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 20, memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education for preschool summer enrichment program.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 21, memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County of Education regarding the Escape ERP Business Process Management System of Integrated Fiscal, Human Resource, and Payroll Applications.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Number 22, memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education for College and Career Readiness Initiative and data sharing for the 23 through 26 school years.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 23, approve of Juan M. Moreno as designee for Imperial County Adult Education Consortium.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Calderon,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 24, approval of revised 23-24 instructional school calendar.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Calderon, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 25, resolution proclaiming May 21 through 27th of 2023 as a classified school employee week.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Calderon,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Contreras. Saraí? Ciara?
Yes.
Mr. Calderon?
Yes.
Contreras?
Yes.
Pacheco?
Yeah.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 5-0. 26, resolution declaring the futility of bidding for the purchase of electric vehicle equipment and curriculum.
I motion to approve with a question.
I'll make a second. Go ahead with the question.
This is important because of the lithiums and everything that's going on, but what are we getting for $271,000?
Right. We have all that information. I could ask Ms. Brisa to provide that information of what we're getting for that.
Good evening, Board. Brisa Huerta Price, Director of Student Federal Projects. So for this quote, we're actually Mr. Fisher is has received approval from California Department of Education to buy a couple of packages of equipment. So a couple of them include some certifications, but also equipment. There is the auto shop has a Volkswagen Bug that they're going to be looking to convert into an electric vehicle. So there's that conversion kit that it requires. Additionally, they're getting a kit, kind of like a cart, to teach more about electric vehicles, circuits, and the basics for kind of like converting vehicles to electric vehicles and what the components for electric vehicles. Additionally, there are precision measurement certification kit with gauge blocks, and then it includes the certification for the instructor. So then the instructor can certify the students, and then they graduate with industry recognized certifications.
The standards, right? Industry standards.
Industry standards. There's also the torque certification kit, and then an ADAS certification kit. Again, these are very foreign. Not sure what that means, but it's something very important
But
for
it's important
Mr.
for
Fisher.
the public to know that we're
Yes.
going to the next level.
Definitely. And you guys mentioned about the CT programs and where they are. We had a really healthy discussion at the meeting last week. And so Mr. Fisher has some big plans for his pathway because of all the attention that he's getting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ms. Melissa.
Thank you for that. Mr. Calderon?
Yes.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ciara?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes 5-0. 27, resolution authorizing contract pursuant to Public Contract Code Section 20118, piggyback statute, to Glendale Unified School District contract to purchase Apple technology. So moved.
Second.
Motion by myself, seconded by Mr. Calderon. Mr. Calderon?
Yes.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Ciara?
Yes.
And myself, yes, 5-0. 28, resolution providing direction to staff regarding the school facility needs analysis and level 2 school impact fees. I'll make a motion.
I'll second it with a
table.
comment.
Okay, go ahead with the comment.
My comment is that I know that Mr. Jimenez has been in conversations with our city officials. I'd like to give them until the end of the month to receive the information so we can make a proper assessment on these fees. We've been waiting too long and we have to move on. So with that, I'd like to motion it, approve it.
Okay.
Or actually table it.
Yeah, correct.
I would like to table it.
Let's just table it. If we don't get that information, we'll just put it back on the June meeting, and that way we could go and make a
Yes.
decision on that.
By June, if we don't get the information,
Yeah.
we go forward.
By the
with
end of this month,
Oh,
by May,
yeah.
you said, correct?
All right.
All right, so there is a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye,
It's a
motion passes.
resolution.
Table.
No, what's table?
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
You're
table.
right. I'm sorry.
29, resolution
Yes.
regarding disposition of surplus asset, non-asset industrial stove at Aurora High School. And this is a stove that Mr. Jimenez wanted to go ahead and fix, but it was unrepairable.
I was overruled.
Second.
So motion by Mr. Contreras, seconded by Mr. Calderon. Mr. Calderon?
Yes.
Mr. Contreras?
Yes.
Mr. Pacheco?
Yeah.
Ciara?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Number 30, adoption of job description literacy coach reading specialist. So moved.
Second.
Seconded by, motion by myself, seconded by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 5-0. 31, adoption of job description director of community schools.
So move.
Second, motion by Mr. Pacheco, seconded by myself. All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 5-0. We're gonna go ahead and Al reconvene to earlier closed session. Thank you very much for being here. Ciara, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Right now that we're here, it's gonna be close to 9 o'clock. So let's go ahead and make a motion till 10:30. That way we don't have to come back and.
So move.
So motion by myself, seconded by Mr.
Second.
Contreras. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Yeah, I gotta go too.
Yeah, I just want to take a quick.